Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 6th day of May 2026. So, I am recording this on the right monitor this time. Not like last week where I did it on the wrong monitor. And last week, wouldn't you know, was the first time we had a down day in these sessions. And I didn't record the right monitor. So, just so you guys don't think that I'm trying to forget that I had a down day, trying to make that down day go away. We were down $2,300 in the last session. Okay, we traded 13 times, is that right? Yeah, 13 times with 4 stop outs. So even with 69% of our trades being break even or better, we were still, we ended up, that's like down 2 trades really. But it was the NQ that killed us in the last one. Anyway, today is a different day. So, I kind of feel like I complicated things a little bit in the last one, so I'm going to uncomplicate things as much as I can in this one. Okay. I showed you a lot of spreadsheets in the last one about a whole bunch of stuff that I managed to gather using my minion. And I was really, really trusting my minion until he lied to me yesterday. And so now I got to check everything that he does. But the lie was like an employee being lazy. Can you believe that? AI lied to me because they were being lazy. It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, the results were still accurate, but anyway, that's a whole other issue I got to deal with. But he did go get a whole bunch of things, and all the results that he got were accurate, but I'm not going to get into that. What I want to get into right now is something that was actually born of a meeting that I had with Jimmy, who's in here right now, yesterday. In the last meeting, and probably a couple meetings before that, I was showing you stuff, and I think I was getting too far away from where we really need to be by showing you new things to make it easier for you. But then, if I keep piling things on, it just gets complicated, and the more things you have, the more complicated it gets, and it's just, yeah, there's that. So what I have right here, down here, without having anything else on price, right? Without having anything else on price, down here is all the information that you need. The 0 DTE and the option picks down here for the stuff on the 24-hour. This is all that it looks at. For the stuff on the 6-hour, it looks at one other thing. Okay, I'll show you what it looks at on the 6-hour. When it's on a 24-hour, it is looking at just this stuff right here. All right, it's looking for the cross of the synthetic divergence and the step line within the cover. That's what it's looking for. Okay, that's on the 24-hour. When you get to the 6-hour stuff, it's not looking for that anymore. It's looking for this. It is then looking for this scenario right here on the 6-hour. Actually, not that one. Sorry, that's not the right scenario. This scenario right here is what it's looking for on the 6-hour. That right there, or this right here, where the red crosses down, the synthetic divergence crosses down over the div line in the overbought, or crosses up over the div line in the oversold. That's a reversal signal. That's what the 6-hour looks for. All right. Simple setups, simple process, simple everything. Now you can use this on any time frame, and you can use this on any time frame. If you try to put them together, which is what Jimmy had running yesterday, it's going to get complicated. Okay, because you're going to have too many things in one place, and it's going to get complicated. So, what I want to do, what I want to suggest to you all, is that we uncomplicate it, and we'll put this back here on a 7 range. Now, the stuff that I have going, all the this stuff, right? If we go in here and we throw on the swing bands are giving you all these arrows, which are great. And the blue arrow is just a little bit better than the black arrow, because the black arrow sometimes give you false signals. The blue arrow gives you fewer false signals than the black arrow does. So everything's an improvement on everything before it. But at some point, you just get a whole bunch of stuff, and it becomes overwhelming. So let's just take a step back and look at what the market's really telling us. Okay, if we just get rid of everything right here, just get rid of everything, we just look what the market is giving us. Now, I go through this stuff, I used to go through this stuff all the time. And I say, it's always doing the same thing. The market is always doing the same thing. It's always going up and down, and then it goes down and up and down and up. And it really does. It goes up and down, and then it goes down and up and down and up. Now, when I'm trading, I would like to say that, just trade like a machine and just buy the open of the next bar whenever you get a signal, and that does work. It does work, but there are going to be periods where there's drawdowns that are bigger than you would like them to be, and there's nuances that over years you will see, or I say years, over time. That's not committed to years on you. But let's just say over time, there are nuances that should jump off the chart at you at some point, and that will help you to be more selective, I'll say. Okay, it'll help you to see when this point right here is going to happen, when that's the swing high, and when this point right here is going to happen ahead of time, but that's the new direction change. Okay, when this point right here is going to be the last one of these, those types of things. There are things that the market tells you, that the market shows you, and that's about to happen. And when I'm trading, I'm thinking a lot of things, and I'm not saying as much as, there for years, for like a decade, I didn't say anything. I just put the trades on, and if you guys followed along, then great. If not, then, well, you didn't follow along. But then, I think it was like in 2022, I started to talk more about what I was thinking, what I was seeing. And then that got to me creating a whole bunch of other stuff, arrows and everything else, to try to point things out, because I was given more information, and more information is good to a degree, but then it becomes too much information, and then it becomes bad. So, I want to take a step back and talk about this kind of stuff, because this happened today several times. And with the markets being as slow as they are, I had plenty of opportunity to go over this and to actually illustrate when it's happening. To tell you ahead of time when it's happening, that right at the beginning of the session today, I was looking for Jimmy because I was hoping he was going to be there. He didn't get there till after like the first half an hour, so he missed it when I showed it. But the thing that we were talking about yesterday, the exact thing we were talking about yesterday, happened, and I was able to say it. And then as I was saying it, it was happening, and it was on the Russell this morning that happened. But you can see this right here, right? This price action movement right here. This is your leg length up. This is a 50% retracement of that leg length up. What should happen now, because this was a decent leg length up, it was smaller than this leg length. If the pullback ends up being bigger than this leg length, then we're going to have a direction change, and I won't believe the next one is going to hit the swing high. But because, well, actually I don't believe this one is going to either, because this was the pullback before it. This pullback was bigger. This leg length was smaller than that leg length. So this is kind of exactly what I'm talking about. Let me go here and I'll erase this right now, and I'll try to illustrate with words more what I'm talking about. You see how this pullback was this big. You had this big leg length up, then this pullback was twice the size of that pullback, and this leg length was half the size of that leg length up. That makes me not believe that this is going to get up above this prior swing high. So what I would expect out of this is that it's going to get halfway to that swing high. Right? Think about that. That's this point right here. That's where this is. This point right here. And whatever this does right in here is going to be this point right here. The turning point in the market. All right? For this little period right here. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, and that's what it just so happens that it's doing it right now. This is like the third time today that it's done it for me. Where I start to go through this explanation and the market just says, yeah, okay, well, I'll just do that for you. but it just happens to be that way. So you see right here, let me just go through this with some lines that make it a little more obvious. Okay, now let me make that a different color. Oops. Now let me make it a different color. Make it blue. Okay, so this was this leg length right here, right? So this leg length is obviously bigger than that leg length. So this pullback was this big, bigger than that pullback, right? This leg length up right here was, let me see if I can extend that. I can't, so I gotta draw another one. So this leg length up, come on, man. was this big, which is obviously bigger than this leg length up. So that shows weakness. And this shows weakness, and this confirms the weakness. And so what I would expect right now, the most I would expect right now, is 50% retracement of this leg. Okay? This leg. 50% of that leg. So right now, if I were to have a long trade, now we don't have anything on here that's telling us that we're going long or anything like that, but everything's screaming, well, you're in an uptrend, and so you'd be looking for long trades. But so if I had an opportunity to take a trade and the pattern or the sequence of steps in the trade setup said you're going to buy the open of the next bar, after the up close, you're going to buy the open of the next bar. In this case right here, I would be hesitant to do that because we're right at that midpoint. All right, this midpoint should act as resistance right now because we just put in a real trend change looking thing right here. All right, because we showed weakness in two ways right here, and so this should right now turn into this being the midpoint of this right here. This leg down, this midpoint holds, and then it pushes down. And then you get another leg length like this one. So you get another leg length like this one right here. That's what could happen. Probably will happen. I don't know for sure, but I would expect if this right here holds, then it's going to push down from here. So if you're being like a robot and you're following the trade setup and you're doing everyone that comes along and everything else, which I say you should do, at least in the beginning, that's good. All right, you're going to have your stop out and all that's going to be good. You're going to get your stop out, and then you'll learn your lesson, and then you'll say, okay, well, I did everything that I was supposed to do, and okay, so now it's going down a little bit further. I did everything I was supposed to do, and I stopped out, and that's okay. That's part of the process. All right, but if you just follow along with what I'm saying right here, we went down even further than I thought it was going to. So this is really looking like it's going to act as the midpoint of the retracement right here that's going to push it down. It's doing the same thing over here, by the way. But what I'm saying is, if you get the trade setup that says to buy the open of the next bar, you're still going to buy. You're still in an uptrend. You're still going to buy it, but don't buy it right at the open of the next bar. If you see this scenario playing out, don't buy it at the open of the next bar. Let it pull back to the point where you can enter the trade, as long as it doesn't go into profit enough so that you would have moved and this is key. Let me say it slower. If you get the entry, if you get the up close, and you would have normally been entering here, if everything was normal, you're in an uptrend and everything was trending perfectly, it didn't look weak like this does, you would buy the open of the next bar, right? And then it moves up, say it moves up 10 ticks and your stop goes to break even or break even plus 5. In this case, on the ES on the 7 range, it would go after 4 ticks, it would go to break even. Say it gets to the point where it would have gone to break even. Well, then you're just not going to trade it at all. All right. If you ended up missing the trade, you ended up missing the trade. If it goes up 4 ticks without pulling back, then you miss the trade. Just let it go. Forget about it. All right. There's a chance it's not going to work out, and it's at a point where it might not work out. So you're probably just better off not doing it anyway. But if it does close and you don't enter, and it pulls back like 3 ticks or 4 ticks, and you enter at the middle of the next bar instead of entering at the very top of it, then if it gets here to the midpoint, you have enough room to get your stop to break even from your entry point. When it pulls back a little bit like that, you have enough room to get your stop to break even from that entry point to the midpoint. Okay, so you're not going to stop out on that trade. You're going to get a break even, maybe a little bit better. It might keep going, you might get more. But if it doesn't keep going and it does actually turn around right here, like this is looking like it's going to do, then you're going to get your stop to break even, or you're going to get a little bit of profit and get out of the trade. Because what Jimmy was doing, he was showing me examples, and I know this happens. In the morning session, when I'm doing stuff in the morning session, there are times where I'll get into trades and I'll have a much better entry than just buying at the open of the next bar. And there are reasons for that. I don't always, a lot of times it's because I'm not able to do it. I'm just not paying attention. I'm not able to get my order there ahead of time. But when the markets are slow like they are right now, I can usually have my order there waiting ahead of time if it's looking like it's going to be a decent trade. These right here, they're not looking that way. Look, it's gone more than 100% retracement of this right here. So it was showing great weakness. Now it's showing even considerably more weakness right now. So now it's pulled all the way back down here. Now without even having anything else on here telling you what direction to trade in, would you want to go long right here on this? Would you want to buy that? Would anybody want to buy that? If you're in an uptrend, I can see, okay, well, it's in the old days, we would say, okay, well, it's going to cross this trend line, and once it crosses above the trend line, if you had confirmation down here, then you'd buy it. With the stuff that we're doing right now, you'd be looking for the trend to be the right thing. You'd be crossing above the mid-band. You could have the bar color. It could be a purple bar. It could be a white bar. But this would be more like a white bar. If we had the mid-bands on, it'd be more like a white bar situation right here, because the mid-band would be somewhere right here in the middle, and this would be below the mid-band. So it'd be more of a white bar situation, I think, if I turn those on. Okay, well, you see you got your blue arrow and you got that, but you see what I'm saying here? Without having any of that stuff, just using the price action without having any of the indicators on there, you can see what the market has given you. And it did the same thing over here. So right now, I wouldn't want to really be going long. I'd be thinking we're going to have a short trade. It's going to pull up here to the midpoint of this leg length and give us a shorting opportunity. That's what I'd be looking for right now. Okay, without having any of the other stuff on there, all the other crutches and all that stuff, without having any of that on there, that's what I'd be looking for right now. And, in the morning session, when I have the better entry, it's because I waited. I saw that it was a really crappy looking situation, right? The market was weak. In the direction that we were trading, the market was weak, so I was going to let it pull back and give me a better entry. So at least if it turned on me, if it was going to turn right there and turn on me right there, I was going to be able to get to break even, or I was going to get a little bit of profit out of it before it turned down. And then as soon as it turns down, we'd be going in the other direction. Okay? So this is all coming together, kind of proving my point, almost. It's not quite done yet, but it's kind of proving my point. Do you guys see what I mean? Those were a lot of words. That was the first 18 minutes of or 28 minutes. Yeah, no, 18 minutes. 18 minutes. 32 plus 18. Yeah, that's 50. 18 minutes. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I did record this. All this is being recorded, and I got the right screen going and all that stuff. So, right here, look at our retracement is twice this leg length right now. So you could see this was showing weakness. I showed you two ways that it was showing weakness here, and it turned right there. Now this one hasn't done 100% retracement yet, but this one has from this leg length. All right. So what are we looking for right now? I'd be looking for a pullback up here for an opportunity to short. Right? What are the indicators telling us? Well, this is still saying it's bullish, right? It's still saying it's bullish. It didn't give you a trade setup in here, but it's still saying it's bullish for now. Now, what do I have going on down here? That is a whole other question you might be interested in an answer about. Okay, so all I have, the background right here on the top, and the background that you see in the middle stuff is the cover. That's the middle stuff that we've been using for the synthetic divergence trades. That's the same. I just got it. It looks like it's a different color. Actually, it is. I think I did make it a different color. This stuff right here is the background that you would get if you just had this guy on up here. Okay, it matches up with that background color up there. But I want to take that off because I want you to just focus on just a few things here. All right, just focus on a few things. That's what I want. And so one of the things, using just this, one of the things that I was going over with Jimmy earlier was if the background color, this one, is blue, and using synthetic divergence, if it's blue, then look for the longs. All right, look for the synthetic divergence longs. If it's red, look for the synthetic divergence shorts. Okay. That's going to give you some really good trade opportunities, and it's going to keep you with the trend, and it's not going to get you looking at 10,000 different things. Alright, now I keep mentioning Jimmy, and I know he was up there at the beginning, but a bunch of other guys typed stuff in, and I can't see if he did. But we talked about this yesterday afternoon, and it was fresh in my memory, and we didn't get to record it yesterday because we ended up talking on the phone because we couldn't get microphones working. So it's now all right here, Jimmy. It's all recorded for you. Alright, and I got to go through some other stuff in a little while about how to place the orders and stuff like that in here. Okay, this is my Schwab, my little baby Schwab account that I created just to show you guys stuff. I'm going to go through placing orders in here because I know we have some people that are new to Schwab and they're stumbling around with this, and so I want to go through that too. Okay. So right here, you see what it's doing? It's pulling back up to the 50% retracement right there. So it is currently. We'll see, but so far it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. We'll see what happens with it. But I do think it's going to drop from this area right here. We don't have a trade setup for it. The trade setup that we did have was to buy the open of this bar right here. And that would have been okay. Now, why would that have been okay? Because you expected it to get right to there, right? Make sense? All those little pieces? I'm going to show you, Rico. I'm going to show you in just a second. As a matter of fact, I'm going to save this right here. I just saved this, and this is shareable. So I'll stick this out here. And as long as you are a subscriber, which most of you guys are, you can click on that, and it will open up to this. Okay. The way I have this down here in the trigger itself, I have the step line on down here. I have synthetic divergence line on. Those are the two that you see. That one right there is the red one, and this one right here is the blue one. The cover color that I have right here, it's purple. Actually, it's this purple way down here, and I have it set to 20, 28, 29%. Okay, that's what the cover is, the middle part. And the other one you set by this right here. On this side of it, do match TV trades by sell area, and make sure you have TV trades checked. Okay, match TV trades by sell area, have that checked. Okay, that's how you set it up. Alright, so there we have it. Now we have a blue background. This is a synthetic divergence short, actually, was from right here at the open of this bar, I think, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. I'm sorry. That wasn't. It wasn't. It was at the open of this bar. And it already went down some and then went back up. So we don't have a trade here. But if you're just going with the background color, you're going to stick with longs as soon as the blue is on the outside. And you're going to stick with shorts as long as the red is on the outside. So as long as the blue is on the outside, you're sticking with longs. As long as the red's on the outside, you're sticking with shorts. Okay, pretty simple process, right? Much easier than everything I showed you last week. Will it reduce stop-outs to trade in a direction of the trend? Yes, it should, Mark. It's going to reduce the number of trades dramatically. So it will reduce stop-outs because it'll reduce trades overall. But you see how this is coming together just like this one did? This side over here. And I bet if we put the, not the Russell, but if we put the YM on, I bet it looks a lot like it too. YM, and let's put that on a 19 range. See, almost the same thing right here. It didn't pull back quite as deep. This is actually a 50% retracement of this leg right here. It's more bouncing off the 50% on the YM than the other ones did. Let's go back to the NQ though. Okay, so you see I'm just trying to simplify. Trying to make it easy. Trying to be a blessing. That's what Jada says. Anyway, alright, so let's look at something else. Let's go out and look at these guys. There are no signals there right now, no signals there right now. There's one here. Alright, so this is the simple, I thought I had shut that off to only show both, but let's just go with the simple right now. It's an IBIT simple. It says to look for call options. So I'm going to switch this so it only shows both. I thought I had done that already. my minion gets thrown off if I have it the wrong way here. But we're just going to go with that. That was IBIT. I'm going to go back to that in a second. Okay, let me save this and go here and make sure I got that set the right way on all these too. Both only. Now at 3:30, I mean we have nothing showing right here, but at 3:30 we should start to see things show up in here when the 6-hour candle closes. Now I want to show you something else in that regard too in just a minute. And that was 3 and 4. This is 1 and 2. Let's go in here and in here and in here and in here. Just want to make sure they're all set to both only. Yes. Okay. All right. So it said a few minutes ago to look at the IBIT call. All right. Now something about the IBIT stuff that I showed you last week that I really like about the IBIT. There's more and more things I find about the IBIT that I like. All right. But it said to look for a call. So for anybody who, what time is it right now? It is 2:59. So we'll say that it started at 3 o'clock in the recording, or 2:59 in the recording. For anybody that's new to using Schwab, it used to be Thinkorswim, and this is the Schwab way of looking at it. Thinkorswim had their own option interface. This is the Schwab interface for trading options. If I wanted to buy a call option right now, that one that just poked out there a minute ago, what I would do is I go in here, put in the symbol, put in call, and to get there I would have to go to trade, and I'd go to options, and then choose my account, and then come in here and do buy to open. Buy to open. Now, it says it puts me at 46 because the actual price right here is 46.09. It's just a little bit in the money right here. So it puts me right at 46. Now, when you go show full quote, look at the delta. You want to have a delta for a call option. You want to have a delta that's above 0.50, right? Above 2 and close to 0.50. And what that means is for every $1 that the price moves, right now the way it is 66.20, for every $1 that price moves, the option value is going to increase by $66.20, or now $67.19. That's what that means, okay? So I'll say that again slower, because if you've never heard of this, then this is important. For every $1 that price moves, just move the decimal place over twice on this. That's how much the option value will increase. All right? The delta shows how much the option value will increase. So for what we're doing, you know, I like to be closer to 50. The 69 is a little bit away from it. If you do 45 and a half, sorry, do it the other way. 46.50, dude, that's way too far away. Yeah, I guess we're stuck with 46. All right, so 69's, I mean, that's okay. I mean, it's good when it's going for you, that's good, but it's just as fast going against you, you understand. So right now, this option would just cost, the last was $15. All right, now that's because it's expiring in 1 hour. But with the IBITs don't expire every day. You see, the 6th, the 8th, the 11th, the 13th, the 15th, the 18th, the 20th, they don't expire every day. So you're not going to do a 0 DTE necessarily with the IBIT. If you're going to do a 0 DTE, like this one does expire today, you want to do those early in the day. This one right here, I wouldn't do early in the day. I would, at this point, I would do the 8th, which is Friday. I would use the option expires on the 8th. And look, see, the delta is better on that one. When you're right here at the money, the delta is better on that one. Okay. It wasn't the 2 hour, Wayne. It was on a 6 hour. And you guys can all hear me, right? Bobby's the only one who lost audio, right? I hope. Somebody tell me you can hear me. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. I was going to have to type it in. Let me just tell Bobby. Okay. So I haven't taken a single trade yet. We've gone now for half an hour now. I I haven't taken a single trade, but that's okay. We didn't really have anything set up yet. But if I was going to buy this right now, that's what I would do. I'd buy to open, IBIT call, and down here is 57 bucks. If I buy it right now, it's pricing it right at the mid, right? The limit price is right at the mid. If I'm going to buy it, I could do buy market. If I want to do buy market, right here, do buy market, it's at 59, which is the ask. If you do buy limit, I can do the buy limit at the ask also. That's kind of like having, when I put my buy stop limit orders and sell stop limit orders on in the morning session, and the price hits that, it's a limit order that gets executed there. So like right here would be a limit order that gets executed at 19 at the ask. So I probably wouldn't get any slippage. But the one thing to note here is the open interest. There's a ton of open interest, and there's a ton of volume. So once I get this stuff dialed in for you, this is going to be a key thing, the IBIT stuff. It's going to be key because you can trade 100 contracts, 200 contracts, and right now it's 57 bucks for today's. Right now, well, not for today's, for the one that expires on Friday, it's 57 bucks. What I showed you a minute ago, the one that expires today, it's 15 bucks to get into it, but it's going to expire in an hour. So if you needed to waste some money, or you needed to cover something or something like that, that's why you'd be buying that. There's a dozen reasons, well, not a dozen, maybe about 5 reasons why people would be buying them at this point, knowing that they're going to expire worthless. But yeah, the IBIT was on simple, Wayne. It wasn't a both, and and it went away too. That's something I'm going to get into here in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to get into that in just a minute. So give me a minute. I'll catch up to you. Alright, so this you'd be doing on the 8th. You want to have the delta that's closest to 50 without going under for calls, or for puts. You want to have the delta that's closest to 50 without going over. Okay? That's the way you want to have it. And remember, if price moves up $1, the option is going to increase by $53.44 in value. Now that number is it's constantly changing, so that dollar value is constantly going to change too. Okay, but that's the way that the options work. And once you're long on this thing, then you would go over here and you do sell to close. Alright? And then it'll have it up here, it'll list up here, the one that you currently have open, and it's going to say sell to close, and you put in here your limit price that you want to have it close at. You want to have it sell at. Okay. The delta for all of them. That's a good question, Mark. I know I'm just doing this in the IBIT right now, but if this were like Goldman Sachs, and you're looking at a call option, show full quote, you're going to be looking at the same thing. Okay. It should be at or near the money, and because it's a call option, you want it at or near 50. Between 50 and 65 usually is what it's going to be. It's going to be right in that area. Okay. And so you're just buying it. It's usually at the money or within 1 or 2 of the money. That's where you're going to find that. And I mean, the reason I like those is because given the expiration dates that we're working with, you usually get some pretty good movement on those options, on the option prices. Okay. So that is how you do it. So that took me 6 minutes, starting at 3 o'clock, from 3 o'clock to 3:06. How to do it with the Schwab interface. That's how you buy them, that's how you sell them, that's how you get into them, and how you get out of them. And so the information that I put in to the option stuff, that today at 3:30, if my minion is on his game, and he says he is, he will put out a table that looks a lot like this. Let's see if I can take this out. No, I guess I can't. Hang on, I posted it over here. Maybe I can do it over here. No, but anyway, I'll do it like this. Okay. He can put out a PNG file like that one that he did earlier today, but this is what it'll look like. He'll put out a thing like this that says what the picks are, like this. That'll say what the picks are and all that stuff. If he's on his game, he'll do it earlier than 3:49. He'll do it like 3:35. But that's as long as I give him the information. So he's he's got competition. There's another AI that's right around the corner waiting to replace him. So Hermes is the name of the other one. All right, so I wanted to show you all that. So now let's see if we have any trades. All right, on the trigger, we're gonna update this, update to the latest version. All charts. I don't even know what the update was. Okay, well now it got rid of all the stuff that I had there. Let me go out to here and go back into the other one, and it's going to bring it back up with the settings that I had. It should bring it back up with the settings that I had. There it is. Okay, I'll just hit save on that. Alright, so it did hit here, and it actually went through it. I'm surprised that it went through it, but I was expecting it to reverse right here, and it didn't. Okay, so that's alright. That's right, this didn't prove itself yet, but this one kind of did. So while I was going through all that, we didn't actually have a trade set up here because it didn't go through the corner. And this isn't a setup because it didn't go out of the cover area. This was a trade setup right here on the NQ. The open of this bar right here would have been the place to buy. Okay. But this, if it would have gone down from here, and it only went down one bar, but if it would have gone down from here, it would have proven everything that I was saying. But what it ended up being was a retracement of a 50% retracement of the bigger leg right here. But it doesn't matter. This is what I was trying to show you, and that is one of the things that I use when I'm trading. Okay. Alright. So let's see if we're going to have... We don't have either one of these giving us a trade setup right now. So I have... That's from you, Bart. So this is the group 1 and 2, group 3 and 4, and this should be the 0 DTE. So in here, what I want to point out here, I put notes in here for you guys. The 24-hour one, you'll see things pop up in here. They'll pop up and they'll go away and pop up and go away while the 24-hour candle is building. So all day long, while that candle is building, there are going to be things that qualify and then disqualify, or qualify and go away, and qualify and go away. There's only one time of the day that this is significant, and that's at 9:30 in the morning when that candle closes. All right. If I unhide this and I double click on it over here, it should bring it up. Here we go, so we can see it. I guess I can't, but let me hide it again, just so it doesn't screw things up. Man, I just screwed things up anyway. Let me go to the. Let me get off of this and go back into it without saving it. Hang on. Get off it and go back into it without saving it. There. I wanted to have that back in view. So this is only significant at 9:30 in the morning, and the 6-hour ones are only significant at 3:30 and at 9:30. All right. So at 3:30 in the afternoon, whatever comes up here is what you're going to buy for the gap in the morning. Okay. Whatever comes up here is what you're going to buy for the gap in the morning. Those are the 0 DTE stuff for the next day. That's not the 0 DTE stuff for today. That's for the next day. And the reason, let's put it out like this. Let's go out like that. Okay. See, this is a 24-hour candle. When this candle closes, all the data that's coming from that candle that is going to give you this kind of stuff up here, that's when that becomes significant. It's not significant until the candle closes. It's like if you had a moving average on there. If you had, like, let's say you had some moving average that was on here like this, and it's like that, and you know if it closes down here below the moving average, it's going to be significant, right? This is just a scenario, hypothetical scenario. But anything that happens before that doesn't matter. You got to wait until the bar closes. When the bar closes, then you have your close. You can work off of that information. But anything that happens before that doesn't matter. So any of these signals that are popping up here and going away all during the day, they don't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay? You're only concerned about the one at the end of the day, or at 9:30 in the morning, the beginning of the day. Okay? Hang on, let me put this back to this thing. Okay, and for the 6-hour, it's the same thing, except the 6-hour is significant at the end of the day. At 3:30 is when you prepare for the next morning, or the next morning is when you prepare for the rest of that day. So options that you buy, especially 0 DTE options, if they're triggered here on the 6 hour, if they're triggered down here on the 6 hour chart, let's go back here. If they're triggered down here at 3:30 on the 6 hour chart, they are expiration date is the next day. It's not the current day, it's the next day. And they're good for that day. Alright, they're usually good for the gap in the morning. But good for that day is the most significant thing. Okay? And these notes right here, I'll give you this layout right here. Okay, copy this layout. And you will see the notes. What would make the blue background turn to red? The blue background turn to red. You mean if we go back over here to this guy? This background? Scott? That is part of... That's part of this guy. Right here. The formula that makes this background change is the same formula that makes that background change. Okay, it's basically a trend change, and it's not a single thing. It's a bunch of things, but that's where it's getting that from. You know, if you throw this scanner on, by default, it has the arrows just for long trades. It has the arrows just for long trades. Because when I originally created this isn't an arrow right here. This is an arrow right here. That's an arrow right there. When I originally created it, I created it for equities. And equities, only long equities. You could throw the arrows on for the short side too, if you wanted to. But for this example, for what we're using it for right here, you know, the trend changes, and you're just gonna, with equities, the idea was to buy at the trend change and ride it out. Buy at the trend change and ride it out for equities. Alright, and you can still do that if you want to. But what I'm giving you is opportunity to get it even better than that, more precise than that. But that's what this, that was the base TV trades. Okay, that's the basic TV trades. That was the first thing that I created with TV trades, was this one thing. In the beginning, all we had was something like this big right here. That's all we had in this whole box. I didn't have all this other stuff. I didn't want to have things in there to complicate it. I didn't want to have any kind of thing in there to complicate it. I wanted it to be simple and easy, where you guys had 2 colors, you had 2 arrows. That was it. But I knew over years, over the years, people were going to ask for things, and I was going to change things, and I was going to add things, and I was going to improve things, and so here we are. There's a video out there somewhere on YouTube of me showing this, where it's just got the original stuff. But that's what changes it. Okay. Yes, it's inside the TV trades. The TV trades / scanner is this thing right here. It only says TV trades in here. Okay. And it showed how to turn the white bars back on. Sure, Jim. The white bars are inside here. You go here and you turn on your scanner. I'm sorry, you don't turn on your scanner. They're inside. They're not in there. Duh. They are in the swing bands. Just turn your swing bands on, and when they come on, they are these guys right here. The intra mid-band bars. That's your white ones. Okay, see it right there. That's your white bars right there. So let me just show you that again. It's these guys right here. From the swing bands, this one right here, the intra bar mid band. If I shut that off, see the white goes away. The white comes back up. Okay. I did drop a link. John, I only dropped it to that one person, but I can give it to you too. I can give it to everybody if you want. The link was right here. I gave it to Ken. It was the webinar. It was this layout right here, I think, wasn't it? And 48. No, it wasn't that one. Sorry. Let me save that. Well, let me first undo that. I think it'll be the one that I gave to him just a minute ago. It's N48. Nope. Wasn't any of these. Oh, it was this one. Yeah, this is the one that I gave. Copy. John, you would ask for that, right? Here it is. I think that's what you were asking for. Can I go over the G line? I really don't want to get that far off topic, Mark. Okay. I'm trying to just keep this stuff really simple for this meeting. I wish I would have been paying attention. We would have been able to take that long trade right in here, so we'd have some money in the bank right now. But you guys know the majority of the trades come toward the end of the session. But we have 12 minutes left for my minion to show me that he's worth my 2 weeks of time that I put into him. And hopefully it's all going to work. Let me just go check and see what he said, if he said anything. He gave me a thumbs up. Confirm 330, groups 1, 2, groups 3, 4, 0 DTE, 3 screenshots, 3 pipeline runs, PNGs back fast, ready. That's what he said. That's what he said. This. My minion. So, he was my personal genius, now he's my minion. He lied to me yesterday. Alright. Let me just sit back. It seems like on webinar days, right about this time, there's like a 10-minute span where if the markets aren't really moving, it gets kind of quiet for a few minutes. So are they all with the trend? Yeah, that's what I made it look for the ones that are with the trend, and they not only are with the trend, but they have both formulas with the trend. Scott, the question was when you puts out the option trades on Telegram, are they all with the trend? They are all with the trend, and they are both. In here, if I go back to the 0 DT stuff in here, and I make it so it doesn't say both, I make it so it says either, then there's a chance that something might pop up in here if I more on the 6 hour than, and there it is. See, this is a simple with the trend. Now the difference between the simple and the scored, well, first of all, the TVT delta is in the scored. The TVT delta is not in the simple. The ones that have a simple are going to have a much lower TVT delta because 40% of it, I think, of the delta is based upon the score value, and the simple doesn't get the score value. But the difference between the signals, I showed this right at the very beginning. One uses the div line and one uses the step line. Okay, did I really? Jimmy's just telling me I missed another NQ trade, and there it is right there. You both told me, Jim and Jimmy. Thank you guys. You guys texting each other? Let's rub it in. You probably both got it right. Well, Jim, you said you stopped trading earlier, but you made plenty of money today. And Jim said this is the only trading he's been doing for several weeks, and he's hit or exceeded his goal every day. You were going to ask the difference between simple, scored, or both. Okay, both means both of them qualify. Simple and scored. I went over this right at the very beginning, Ken. But I don't want to miss another trade, so I'm going to go out one more here, and I'll show you in here. Okay. This scenario down here with the step line and the synthetic divergence, that's the simple setup. All right. And that simple is significant on the 24-hour. The scored uses the div line and not the step line, and this is significant more on the 6 hour. Okay, like this right here is a scored short right here on the 39 range. It's saying to sell the open of this bar. That's what that's saying right now. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, and what you get with the 0 DTE stuff, both of them have to be qualified The simple qualifies on the 24-hour, and the scored qualifies on the 6 range. I'm the 6 hour, not 6 range, the 6 hour. All right. So here, I'm trying to bring that trade over right now that I'm in right here, so you guys don't rub it in on me again. There's plus 12 ticks on that one, because this was the scored right here. All right. So you guys don't rub it in again and say you missed another one. Well, you probably missed that one. I bet you guys missed that one, because you didn't do the scored trade. You're looking for the simple trade. There. See, and that wasn't actually a trade right there for the simple, because it didn't hit it. It almost looks like one right here, almost, but it didn't actually hit it. And you could argue that it went through it right here, but that was the bar before. So our first trade got us 12 ticks. Okay, that's the difference, Kenneth. Okay. All right, it's 3:24. So hopefully we get some more trades in here before I have to do the other stuff. Now, usually, and I'm hoping, I'm going to go ask him again. Yep, okay, he's responding. So. See, when I first do this, I say ready, and then he takes forever to respond. It says he's typing, but then it takes forever for the actual thing to show up. Could I please double check the options posted for today? I think maybe the previous close was used to figure the percentage instead of the high of the option for today. I would have to check that. You are right, Michael. I'll have to go through that and check that. Alright, so this ended up not being in trade here. Okay. And so I said ready at 3:24, and it is now 3:25, and he still hasn't responded. That's aggravating. 0 DTE means zero days to expiration. Now, if we get 0 DTE trades right now, there will be trades that expire tomorrow. All right, be trades that expire tomorrow, and you buy them right now. If we get them right now, you buy them right now before the close. If you get them right now, okay. But they expire tomorrow. If we get any of the other ones from groups 1 and 2 or groups 3 and 4, okay, all right, he finally responded. It took him a minute, but he did a token refresh. It's valid for 11 more minutes. Auto refresh. We'll cycle it. Scripts are all green. Pick file slot clean. Okay, he's ready to go. Just took him a minute to get it out there. But the question was 0 DT. Our position is to be open first thing in the morning. They're positioned to be open between 3:30 and 4 if they show up. Okay, but the 0 DTE are 3:30 and 4 with tomorrow's expiration. The stuff that comes up on groups 1 and 2 and groups 3 and 4, that's for, well, today's Wednesday, so it would be for Friday's expiration, the 8th. Okay, let's get back in here. Do we have any more trades? So far we have the one trade with 12 ticks. You know, most of the trades happen in the last 15 minutes, and hopefully this time I'll be able to actually place some trades to the group between 3:30 and 4 on the 6 hour 0 T. What do you want to add to it, Wayne? I'm hoping that we're going to have some trades here, because those are the ones you really want to be in on the 0 DT. They don't really trigger that much in the morning. But you know, the 0 DT stuff only triggers a couple times a week anyway, usually, in the windows that we're looking for it. You know what? They're pretty restrictive. I've got it narrowed down quite a bit, though I added the IBIT stuff to it, but I'm still working on the IBIT. I want to get the IBIT a little more dialed in before we get into that in a lot more detail. Okay, and my minion just gave me this. I said ready, And this is what he said. Ready. So, we'll see in a minute here. This right here was not a trade because it didn't actually hit it. Nothing there. We're only looking for long trades because the background is blue, right? We went over that, so none of them gave trades. If I put the div on there, I mean I can see these, but we didn't have any with that on there either. Add what I said. I said about the 0 DT anytime during the day. I did add that on there, I think. It's in here, isn't it? It's all in here. This big one is where I say that in the 6 hour. So if you guys don't have this, see right now it's showing the IBIT with the call on the 12 hour, on the 24 hour. Now that's not really significant at the end of the day because that's just like a middle of the day signal that's popped up that's probably going to go away on the 24 hour. The bar hasn't closed, so it's not significant up here right now. If that were down here in 1 minute, if that's down here, then that's significant. Okay, so I'm going to get ready over here. Whatever pops up, I got to make a screenshot of and give it to my minion, and then he's going to go out and get all the information, and I'll stick it out there for you guys. And then we can go and verify it. Okay. None of these are trades right now. Not yet. This could be a trade. If this next bar closes down and the black goes up, then this could be a... Nope, it didn't. It wasn't. Okay, so nothing there and nothing there right now. And it is 3:30, so let's go out here and see what we got. We only have one. And just hit refresh on that to make sure. Groups 1 and 2 only have one. Yep, groups 1 and 2 only have meta. And let's look at groups 3 and 4 and see what they have. Groups 3 and 4, I'm only interested in the one that say both. If it says both, that means both of them are triggered, one on the 24 hour, one on the 6 hour, and they're both with the trend. Okay, so we have IBIT, AXTI, and Meta. Those are the only three that it has. So I will give this information to my minion and see. It's group 1 and 2. And this one is... Uh-oh, we just lost that one. Hang on, I'm going to give it a second. Well, we only have two. There it is. Okay, let's grab it right here, right now, while it's showing this. Okay. And this is paste group 3, 4. Send that, and let's look at the 0 DTE. It's only got one on the 24 hours, so that's not significant. We don't have any 0 DTE for tomorrow. If in the morning you have something that pops up here or down here, then that will be significant for tomorrow morning. Okay? That is all. Please go get the picks. So there's only going to be 3 for tomorrow. So, okay, it's putting that one in. So it did the meta. It didn't capture my group 3 and 4. Okay, so it took it 2 minutes to do the meta one, but it didn't give it. This is how it gave it. So this stuff is old, so it's not that. This is what it gave for the meta right here. 615 put. 7.3 is the last price. 69.1 by 55 is the delta. 55 is the delta that comes from Schwab. Okay. Yep. Okay, it's got 3 and 4. It's adding and rendering. Okay. And there it is. Okay, so now I will just take. Let me do this. Maybe load up like that. And do this. This is it right here. Okay, meta 615 put, Schwab 91 call, AXTI 105 call. Last price 7.3, 1.52, and 5. These are the deltas and the TBT deltas. So I'm going to post that for you guys, and then we'll go check them out. Okay. So these are the picks, paste, and these are the picks. 4, 5, 7. Okay. Alright, so let's go check them out. And make sure that it's right. It says meta 615 put. Now, if we go here and we type in meta, M-E-T-A, meta, and put, and it's at 610 right now, but it is 5.8 we're looking at, and I don't know why it said 615 put. The last on it would be that 612. Oh, I think it was looking for the delta. That's why he was looking for the right delta, because the 610 was too low and the 612.50 was too low. Actually, the 615. Well, the 615 is good. Okay. So that is good. So the 615 put is right, and the Schwab SCHW, that was a 91 call. Alright, so it's a 91 call. And if we show the full quote, this is 46, so that, if you go down, there the delta is right at 46, at 91. So it's a 91 call, and the delta it's shown here is 67.6, it's 67 right now. And the AXTI, the Schwab only has 2 in volume, so that kind of sucks. AXTI, that is a 105 call. And go to the 105 call, and we show full quote. The delta is right. That's got 361 in volume. That's much better. And that is a 5.8 expiration. So those are all good. All right, all those numbers that it just calculated are all good. So we can all go and use those right now. Now, let's take a moment to do one other thing. Okay, while we're here. Didn't have any other trades in here while I was doing this, did we? There was a long trade from right here on that. Hang on, I'm trying to find it. Here it is. I'm a little behind the ball on that one, but the NQ had a long trade, and I just got 10 ticks on it. I'm going to go to 12. I'm going to go to a lot more than that. That's 24 right there. 20. It should have been about 30 something. I'll go check. But that was right here. You see down here? That was the long trade right there. Not using the step line, but using the other one. All right, Wayne Hims had a stock on Group 4B. Yeah, this is my Group 4. Here I have Hims now on 4B. You could still do that. I could add Hims to the thing. Let me give him Hims right now too, and see what he says. Okay. Well, that's why I make a cut, Wayne. When I grab it when the bar closes and I grab it at that point, that's what I like to use. All right, the next 5 or 10 minutes, things are going to change. Things are going to change for the next 6 hours until the next bar closes. But when that bar closes, what's there when that bar closes is what's significant. Okay. Because Wayne was just saying, okay, the Hims just showed up and that wasn't showing up before, and we had 2 other ones in here that aren't showing up now. That's because things are constantly changing. That's why I say at 3:30 when that bar closes, that 6-hour bar closes, the thing is painted and you go in there and grab what's there. Now this was right on the edge, obviously, because it just showed up. But, oops, I sent that to the wrong thing. Hang on, let me forward this to my minion. Okay, and get it out of here. Delete from there. Wait, that was my minion. Who did I forward it to? Oh, well. Oh, yeah, here it is. Let me forward it to, not the TO channel, this one right here. Okay. Let's now go in the TO channel and delete it. And delete from there. I can leave it in there for you guys, so you can put the trade on right now if you want to. But see, we have the meta is still there. That's the only one still there, and the 0DT still not showing anything. Even the one that was up here a few minutes ago went away. But what I wanted to go into right here, right now, was I wanted to look at the IBIT stuff really quick with you. Okay, none of these are giving us signals right now. So let's look at the IBIT stuff. But wait, let me go see what I got on that last TNQ trade. I want to write that down too, because I am not going to have another day where I am negative in this session. Alright, the last TNQ trade, I bought 74.75 and I got out at 81. So it was 27 ticks. 27 ticks. 37, 39 ticks. 20. Okay. The one seeing in the scanner for both is meta. Yeah, Jimmy. I know that's right now. Yeah. And that's what I put up. In scanner, that's scanner 1 and 2. Scanner 1 and 2 has, I'm trying to bring it over here and show it to you. Here it is, blown up. Scanner 1 and 2 had meta, and scanner 3 and 4 had Schwab and AXTI. And I added Hims. Hims was also in 4B is where Hims showed up. So I added Hims as well. And I'm waiting for my my guy to finish it. Here it is right here. Okay, so these are the picks. So the Hims, here, I'll copy it and paste it here. I added the Hims in there, the 27.5 put, last price 1.1. Okay, so you can still jump on that. And I'll put that in the TO section in here. So I can delete that, delete that. Alright, that is it. So did we get any more trades? This right here on the ES, I think. Did it cross it? No, it didn't hit it. Didn't hit it right there. Did we get anything over here? No, we didn't. Okay, so the thing that I wanted to look at over here was the IBIT. IBIT. And the IBIT on the 39 range, that's not really what I'm interested in. On the 6 hour. Okay, so we didn't get anything there on the 6 hour, and we probably don't have anything on the 24 hour. I know we don't have anything on the 24 hour. We did have it, I thought it showed up somewhere. But look at it on the 2 hour. Alright, so the IBIT on the 2 hour is actually giving you a simple short right here. And let's see if it's giving you a scored short. It is not giving you a scored short yet. But you would want that on the 4 hour anyway. No, the 4 hour you'd want on the 2. I'm sorry, the scored you'd want on the 2. Simply you'd want on the 4. Never mind, I'm just confusing you guys. But the IBIT stuff is gonna, the thing about the IBIT is it trades after hours. It trades from 4 to 8 p.m. after the other ones stop trading. Now the spread is going to get thinner. I mean, the spread's going to get wider, not thinner. The spread's going to get wider, and liquidity is going to dry up. But you can trade it in those hours. I haven't done it myself. But there's a lot of things about the IBIT, like all these gaps in the IBIT. If we can dial them in and get to the point where we can take advantage of those gaps correctly every time, then then that's going to be money in the bank every day. Like right here at this open, what I was saying last week, if the synthetic divergence, this is on the 2 hour I know, but if the synthetic divergence is pointing in the right direction at the close of the day, or at the close of a 2 hour candle right here, this is at the close of the day, the 15:30 2 hour candle, if it's pointing in the right direction, then usually there's going to be a gap the next morning. Now, the gap is going to be the gap, no matter what time frame you're looking at. The gap is still going to be the gap. It's going to be the same gap on an hourly, or on a 2 hour, on a 3 hour, on a 5 hour, on a 12 hour. It's going to have the same gap from this price to this price. It doesn't care what how big the candle is. It's still going to have the same gap. But you can break it down however you want to. Wait, we have this is the NQ right here, right? Yeah, the NQ is giving us synthetic divergence. The background color is blue, so you're not really looking for the short. But if the background color was red, you'd be going for the short right here. Same thing with the ES. If the background color was red, you'd be going for the shorts right here. Okay, now neither background color was red, so there's no short right there on either one. There was the long trade back here, though, on the ES. Somewhere back there was a long trade on the ES. And wasn't there? Yeah, right back here there was a long trade on the ES. I didn't get that. I have a YM trade going on right now for some reason. I'm in profit on it, but I'm just going to close that. Alright. Time's at 3:46. So the trade should start triggering in here pretty regularly right now as we get to the end of this session. So far we've only had the 2 NQ trades, one for plus 12 and one for plus 27. Alright. So I said a lot of things in here, but hopefully all the stuff that I said at the beginning was good enough for you to understand what is the IBIT. The IBIT is, here I'll show you. It is iShares Bitcoin Trust. It's an ETF on the NQ. And it's something, if you want to trade options on it, Philip, it gives you opportunity for gaps almost every single day. From the close to the open the next day, you get a gap because it trades after hours. Between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. it trades, and so there's almost always a gap. And if we can dial in what that gap's going to be at 4 o'clock and get ready for it at 4 o'clock, then it would be just golden. Okay? And that's what I'm trying to do for all of us. Dial that in so we'll be able to just put that trade on at the end of every day. And get up in the morning and have, 50 to 100% profit every day. That'd be pretty sweet. 10% would be nice. If we could do it every day. So we have 13 minutes left in this session, guys. 13 minutes left in this session. I haven't gone over this at all. If anybody in here, I haven't even looked to see who's in here. There's still a good group of people in here. I don't know if everybody in here is already a subscriber, or if there's anybody in here who's not a subscriber yet. I know there was one question that came to me, but if you haven't taken the free trial, then just go here to tv-trades.ai, tvtrades.ai, and sign up for the free trial. Okay, tv-trades.ai. Click on free trial to bring it down to the bottom. You just go to tvtrades.ai, tvtrades.com.ai, like this. This is where it is, tvtrades.ai. And this video, this one will be here at some point. This is the one that I didn't put in there last week. I don't know why it's showing it there on the top of the playlist. It shouldn't show anything there at the top of the playlist. But the one before that was right here. Okay, last week's I didn't get in there because I recorded the wrong screen. But this week, this should be at the top of the playlist right here. Of April 2026. But anyway, if you go there to that page, this is where the video is going to be. And if you want to see all the videos, you can click on this, view full playlist on YouTube. That's what I just clicked on to get to this, all the playlists. This is, I think hundreds of videos in there now. Alright, let's get back over here and see if we can get a trade off. This didn't hit it on the way, but that right there is, let me crunch it up. See, it didn't actually cross the black line right there. It didn't cross the div. Usually I want to see it cross the div like this right here. I want to see that happen. I did it anyway. I bought it anyway, and it just gave me everything right there, I think. 30 ticks. I don't know what happened. let me go see what it actually did give me. It might have given me a break even. Well, here it is. Nope, it gave me a break even. Okay, well, I did buy it anyway, because I thought it was actually going to cover the whole thing. And we didn't get another trade out of it yet. We're still looking for long trades, and neither one of them in here turned it into a trade. I don't know why I gapped up right there, but let me write that down. 1 ES. So we had 3 trades. That was a break-even ES trade. I thought it was going to give you the whole 30 ticks, but it gave me a break-even instead. Sad. Alright, well, we're ready for the next one. See, it went through it right here, but we're only looking for long trades because the background color is blue. It didn't go through it here, so this is not going to be a trade right now. So let me put this back here to 3. Right here in the IBIT on the 2 hour, you would be selling it right here on the 2 hour if the background color were right. Right. Now let me go back here to just 2 of them. I hit save on this, and alright, well, I am glad that my minion, I might upgrade him again to personal genius at some point, but he's really going to prove himself. John, the $46 strike price is at a delta of 55 delta. That's fine. What are you talking about on the IBIT? John? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. If the $45 strike price is right there. This is the NQ right here. You see, do I have guidelines on how to exit? That was the question you had asked me the other day. Well, that's kind of tough. I mean, because the options move around so fast, and you don't want to wait on options because they lose value as quick as they gain it. So the easier thing to do, Bill, is to have a target that you're looking for, like 100% or 50% or something like that. When you get that target, then lock in, put in a limit, sell to cover limit order, okay, at some level that you would be okay with, and then just leave the top end of it wide open. That's the easiest way to trade it. Okay, Maybe an options balance, that 250 move, is it, Larry? Lately, I've been trying to get stuff out to you guys at 250. I haven't really been paying that much attention on my own. I'm working, just working, trying to get stuff out to you guys. All right, so we're looking for long trades if we have any. Okay, it's 3:53. We usually have some opportunities here in the last 10 or 15 minutes is when we usually get some opportunities. I can't believe I got a break even on that ES trade, that huge ES trade. But it must have bumped to +4 and then immediately come right back down. And how do you get the blue background? Down here at the bottom? This is at the beginning of the video, but you just go in here and on inputs, it's the match TV trades buy and sell area. Okay. That's that background down there. Right, and I made that purple. That is this one right here, the cover. I made it this purple and I made it 29%, 28, 29%, something like that. Okay. And check the TV trades box, that's right. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, on this side. Make sure you have TV trades checked and match this. Correct. Thank you. Alright. I want to go look at the IBIT again for a minute. The 2-hour stuff, guys. The 2-hour stuff, there is a lot of value in there. It's just a lot to talk about, and I haven't really dialed that in as well as I want to yet either. Okay, but that's going to be a big deal. The 2-hour stuff and the IBIT stuff. This is all going to be. It's all going to be good stuff that's going to end up making us a lot of money. I can feel it. I just haven't wrapped my head all the way around it yet. When I do, I will let you know. But in this webinar today, I am trying to simplify things and make things easy. Now, Nilesh, you wanted me to go over the entry method again. You mean the entry method in the actual account, right? Is that what you mean? If you have a Schwab account? No. Oh, the entry method down here. What I'm looking for down here. Okay, well, there's two things that I'm looking for. Because I have 3 lines on here, there's 2 different setups that I'm looking for. But let's just break it down to each one individually. Okay. The entry method for this right here, when the background is blue, I am looking for something like this right here is really, or let me do it on this one. This right here is what I'm looking for. Where the synthetic divergence crosses through the step line and goes out of the cover, out of the purple. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. That's one of them that I'm looking for. The HMS strike price, let me go tell you, it's out there in the Telegram channel. I think it was 27.5 put, 27.5 put mark. The other one, Nilesh, was I'm looking for a situation like this right here. And in this case, if I get rid of the step line, and what I'm looking for here is the red synthetic divergence to be crossing the black as it comes out of the oversold while that's going into it. Okay, this is what I'm looking for here, this situation right here. Now, that's what I'm looking for the longs, when you have a blue background, and for the shorts, over here you're looking for that right there, for the shorts when you have a red background. Okay? That's what I'm looking for. So you can look at them both at the same time if you want to. It's a lot to look at. But since we're wrapping it up here, and I want to take as many trades as I can that qualify with the blue background here. This is almost the trade right here. Almost. The blue's just about covering it right there. It's just about covering it. I'm not the blue, but the red is just about crossing the black. The last time it did that, it had a huge run, and it ended up giving me a break even. So this one right here, so far it would have done exactly the same thing. It would have given me a break even. But that's it. We're looking for long trades right now because the background's blue on both of them. So we're just looking for long trades. Mark did get that right, 27.5 put on the HIMS. Those are the 4 for tomorrow. And the ones for today, they were pretty mediocre. There wasn't anything big or anything really big either way. We didn't have anything over 100% plus or minus today. This is what it looked like today at the beginning of this session. That was our big winner, and that was our big loser today. Am I long on the ES right now? No, I'm not. Oop. Jim. I was at a break even. It was right here. The open of that bar. Went 4 ticks, came back out, took me out, and then it went up. It's 3:59, guys. I think we're going to end up done with 4 trades and 39 ticks on the NQ. Let me bump that and that. So that when I refresh that, refigured those lines. I don't like it when it does that. Alright, so it's 4 o'clock, and there you just had the cross right there on, okay, I just took that one there on, actually the wrong market, but I was trying to take it on the ES, and I took it on the NQ, and I made like 16 ticks on the NQ. Alright, well, that doesn't count toward the ES then, does it? My Dom's in the wrong place. If I would have just made money there on the ES. Right here. There's a video showing how to use the scanner indicator with the newest update. Which is the newest update? I mean, if you look at the scanner, it's time to wrap it up, but let me just go through this really quick with you. Okay. Mark goes 30% off my entire order. If we put the scanner on, go to TV trades. This is how you put the scanner on, in case you guys don't know. It's the TV trades from in here. It's just this regular TV trades. You turn that on, and you go in here, and you turn on the scanner right here. Turn on the scanner, and by default, it's going to say either, and it's going to have 24-hour and 6-hour on it. Okay. If you want to narrow it down to, well, if you leave it on 24-hour and 6-hour, and you want it to be just the stuff that's both, click on both. And if you want it to be stuff that's both with the trend, click on with trend, like that. Okay, and that will narrow it down. See, it's thinking about it right now. There's only one. Out of all those in there was only one that was both the 24-hour and the 6-hour, and both with the trend, the meta. Okay. If you want to do something different, you can go in there and change that all around and make it different. But I don't know what the latest change was that I put in there. The one thing that I did do in here that you guys can go and see, if you look at about this script, down here at the bottom when I put changes in, it's all the way down here at the bottom. Okay, like I removed the Duke and the H-band from the list because they're not weekly. I added Mr. to 4A in the scanner. I put the IBIT in those places. I added the indexes, the S and the NQ and the Russell. And any changes that I put in, they're all listed in here. Okay, so you guys can always go and look at that. To get to that, again, you click on these 3 dots and go to About This Script. About this script. Okay. And, well, I guess we can trade if we want to right now. We changed to a red background here. Okay, we changed to a red background on the ES. We didn't change to a red background over here on the NQ. Where do you change to purple and 29%? Philip, you do that inside the trigger, inside the trigger. One thing you can do if you want to, I'm going to save this again, and I'll give you this right now. If you make a copy of that layout right there, as long as you're a subscriber, and I know you are, as long as you're a subscriber and you make a copy of that layout that I just sent to you all, it'll have everything all set up for you the way it is right here. Now this is set up for, I'm sorry, crap, I put that ES straight on. I'm gonna lock in 2 ticks on the ES, okay. It should make it all the way down to here at least, and then all the way down to here. Now we'll see what it does actually do here, but we have 2 ticks locked in. 385 is right there. That's that big number. That's what it should get down to right now. The swing low right here is what it should get down to right now. Okay, so this will be my last trade, and I'm gonna lock in 4 ticks. That's $500 for me, and we'll let it go and do its thing. I'm gonna bring this up to 385. Right, so that'd be 5 points, or 20 ticks if it makes it down there. Alright, so the place you change that, let me just show you. You go in here, and it's on the trigger. One, you gotta have this match TV trades checked. Have TV trades checked, match TV trades checked. Then go down here. That's gonna put the blue background, the blue and the red background. And if you want to change the cover area in the middle, if you want to change that, check cover. I'm using purple right here, this purple, and I have it set to 29%. You can make it darker if you want, or less, whatever you want. I just want it to kind of stick out and not be the same blue. Okay. Alright, so we're out with 4 ticks on that ES. So we had 5 trades in this session, and 4 ticks on the ES and 39 ticks on the NQ. So let's go put it in the results for the Wednesday totals. Okay, this is today. On the NQ, we had 39 ticks, and on the ES, we had 4. Alright, so that's more than our drawdown on the last one. In this session, we had 5 trades with 0 stop outs. So 100% of our trades today were break even or better. And this is how we're going to wrap it up for this session, guys. I'm 5 minutes over. In this session, we took 5 trades. We had an NQ for 12, an NQ for 27, an ES for 4, and we had an ES break even, and we had another ES break even. We had 2 break even ESs, 1 break even for 4 ticks, and those 2 NQ trades. So that puts us at $2,450 with 10 contracts, or $245 with 1 contract, and that is how I'm going to wrap it up for today. All right. This is available to you. If you don't want to have the black line on there, just go in here and shut off the div right here. Okay, that is under style on the range trigger. You shut off the div right there. If you want this to look like this, you go down here, make sure you check the match TV trades buy sell area. That's the background that shows you the trend. Turn that on, make sure you have TV trades turned on so it matches up with the TV trades trend. And that's it. Okay, if you want to get rid of the step line in here so you only have the other 6-hour formula, then you just have to go in here under style and shut off the step line. Okay, and then put the div back on. This one. And that's the 6-hour formula. This is the 12-hour formula. That's both. Okay? Alright, everybody. If you haven't taken a free trial, go here to tv-trades.ai. Sign up for the free trial there. I will give you everything that you need as soon as I possibly can. But there's a lot of good stuff coming. I just kind of touched on a few things in here today about the IBIT stuff, the 2-hour stuff. There's a lot of good stuff coming. And now that I got all these AI things, all these AI tools, I am learning so much more, so much faster, that I'm able to just kind of group it all and pick out what's good and try to give it to you guys. Alright, so that is it. I'm going to wrap this meeting up. Thank you all for coming today, and I did record this on the right monitor the whole session, so there will be a video at the end of this. There will be a video coming. Alright, thank you all again. I'm going to stop the recording right now.